Welcome to Changemaker Challenge 2021. I'm Nikki Highsmith-Vernick, President and CEO of the Horizon Foundation, your community health foundation. I'm so excited to kick off this event and to welcome you to an evening of inspiration and innovation. Our vision for Changemaker Challenge is to celebrate social innovation in Howard County. We want to celebrate creativity. We want to showcase passion and creative solutions, and we want to lift up diversity, equity, and inclusion. We want to challenge the status quo that leaves too many of our residents without equal access to education, health and mental health care, economic mobility and vitality, and challenge a status quo that tolerates harm to our natural environment. Tonight, you will hear ideas that will upend the status quo, that will literally change the world and save lives. We hope you leave here tonight inspired, amazed, and maybe even slightly unsettled. Some of our finalists are pitching ideas to solve really hard problems, challenges that maybe we don't realize impact our neighbors, our family, and our friends. Changemaker Challenge 2021 is supported by the Community Foundation of Howard County, the Horizon Foundation, the United Way of Central Maryland, and the Women's Giving Circle. We came together to support our community during COVID through Hoco Respond, and we're coming together tonight to showcase the power of collective philanthropy in our community. So a few logistics. We have 10 finalists tonight that were selected from a pool of applicants. We will be giving out a $25,000 award, a $15,000 award, and two $10,000 awards. One of the $10,000 awards will be focused on women and girls, and one of the $10,000 awards will be selected by you, the audience. So get ready to vote. The other awards will be selected by our panel of judges who are community members and board members from the Horizon Foundation, the Women's Giving Circle, and the United Way of Central Maryland. All of our finalists are winners. They are here. They deserve our gratitude for their ideas, their preparation, and their hard work. And just a reminder, as amazing as they are, they're not actors, so you might see some nerves and some hand-wringing, but I know you'll be supportive, so thank you. I thank you for coming. I thank all of our elected officials who are here tonight,
I did mute because I didn't know what was happening. Is this better?
Council,
I'm trying not to
state
get
delegation, and you'll also hear later from our county executive, Dr. Calvin Ball.
Okay.
And finally, thanks to our previous Changemaker Challenge finalists and winners.
That's okay.
You are all our family.
Okay.
I would now like to introduce Franklin Baker, co-creator, co-collaborator, and CEO extraordinaire of the United Way of Central Maryland. Franklin?
Thank you, Nikki. United Way is so proud to support the third Changemaker Challenge in Howard County with our partners in positive change, the Horizon Foundation, the Women's Giving Circle, and the Community Foundation of Howard County. Since its inception in 2017, we've seen the Changemaker Challenge grow and create meaningful change. So this year, we've expanded it to all counties in Greater Baltimore. As an organization whose mission is to improve lives, United Way works day and night to find solutions to ongoing and new needs. But it doesn't, and it simply can't end with us. We work to surface and support grassroots, boots on the ground leaders who we know are among the best equipped to drive positive change within their communities. This platform, it gives more people a seat at the table. It also provides a way that they can share their new ideas that will help close service and resource gaps, so that together we can help even more people across the focus areas of health, housing, education, and economic advancement. It's important to note that the Changemaker Challenge isn't a competition among applicants on ideas, because I want to stress this. Every single concept to improve lives really is important. Rather, the challenge is in equity and how we can all address it together. It's systemic racism. It's the disproportionate damage this pandemic has inflicted on those who are already vulnerable. It's barriers to good health. It's long-standing systems and dynamics that prevent economic advancement. access to education, and to safe but yet affordable housing. Now, more than ever, we need ideas for meaningful change. Those you'll hear from tonight and all who have entered the Changemaker Challenge truly inspire and impress us, actually, with their dedication to changing things for the better. And tonight is not about judging, folks. It's about elevating and applauding and celebrating the voices of local activists and change agents. We're joined by community members who are here to cheer on these change makers and offer their thoughts on why their concepts are so meaningful. At the end of this event, we'll continue to amplify our change makers' voices and then share their stories to drive even more support of their big ideas and to spread the word about the importance of grassroots change. I encourage all of you, every one of you, to think about how you can invest in the change makers in a way that is really meaningful to you to help accelerate their impact. There are so many ways to fuel their work, from partnering with them to promoting their good work, to sharing your networks and contacts with them, and so much more. You'll find donation links and contact information for each of our change makers at uwcm.org/Changemaker Challenge. Tonight, we celebrate all Changemaker Challenge entrants and participants, past and present, and all those who are sparking new ways of thinking in our communities. Thank you all for your big and bold ideas. And now, I'll turn things over to our MC.
'21 Howard County Changemaker Challenge live event. My name is Kat Harmon, and I'm the Director of Communications at the Horizon Foundation. I'll be your MC, and I'm very happy to be here with you this evening. There's 4 grants up for grabs: $25,000, $15,000, and 2 $10,000 grants. One of those $10,000 grants will be awarded to a finalist for a project created by or serving women and/or girls in Howard County. That grant is called the Women's Giving Circle of Howard County Award. The other $10,000 grant will be chosen by you, our audience. The winner of the Audience Choice Award is also eligible to win one of our other grants. Exciting, right? I'll provide you with more details about how and where to vote for your favorite changemaker a little bit later in the show. The 10 finalists that we've chosen are reflective of where we are and what our needs are as a county. And we're so proud of the hard work they're doing in the community. No matter what the outcomes are, our finalists have worked incredibly hard. We can't wait for you to see what their big ideas are. Since normally we're all doing this in person, we still want you to be involved in the show tonight. So make sure you use the chat feature below the screen so you can show your support. Before we get started, I wanted to give our community partners who will be reviewing our Changemaker submissions a moment to introduce themselves. Lisa, let's start with you.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Lisa Pearson, currently Vice Chair for the Horizon Foundation. I am the Director of Behavioral Health in the county sites at Chase Brexton, and I live, work, and play in Howard County. I have 3 children who attended and attend Howard County Public Schools, and I'm totally excited and completely invested in our Changemaker Challengers this evening.
Thanks, Lisa. And our next community partner, Kathy Hamill, is having a little bit of technical difficulties, so we're going to move on to next just to give her a little bit more time. So right now, we have Ryan Brown.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Ryan Brown, and I currently serve as the Vice President of Operations for Howard County General Hospital. I've been involved with United Way since 2015 and have had the privilege of serving on the board since that period of time, and have been working in Howard County since 2014.
Our next partner is Barb Van Winkle.
Hello, everyone. I am Barb Van Winkle, Chair of the Advisory Board for Women's Giving Circle of Howard County. I am the proud owner of a small business, Nancy Adams Personnel. I have been in Howard County for over 40 years. I am a longtime county resident and volunteer on several nonprofit boards. And I love my community, and I'm very proud to be part of this great event tonight. Thank you.
I think they can. The producers can.
Thank you, Barb. Our final partner is Tisha Davis.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tisha Davis, and I am the chair of the Howard County Run Board and for United Way of Central Maryland. I also work, play, and live in Howard County, but during the day, I am the vice president of People and Culture for CQ, which is Maryland's largest state credit union. I've been in the county now for 24 years. I'm now with my husband, our son, and also my fur daughter. And I absolutely love everything that the county offers, especially with diversity. And I'm so happy to be here tonight for this event. So thank you.
We have a really great group of invested folks here. Thank you for your time, commitment to improving Howard County through your efforts and participation in this Changemaker event. Well, I know you didn't come here to hear me talk all night. So without further ado, let's meet our changemakers. First up, we have the third. Let's hear about their big idea.
Imagine a community where people feel whole and fulfilled. A social anthropologist tells us that humans need 3 spaces to feel happy and whole: home, work, and a third space where we gather with others. We are the third. The third was born to support and amplify women of color entrepreneurs and their businesses. Our big idea is that a community space like this, a third space, is a vital key to supporting our overall vision. We are building a revolutionary space in a revolutionary town at a revolutionary time. We've taken over an 8,000 square foot former restaurant space at the downtown Columbia lakefront to create a community co-working space open to all that is run by, supplied by, and incubates women of color entrepreneurs and their businesses. As a Columbia baby, born to an early Columbia resident, I know and have experienced that special sense of community that I grew up with. With this space, we're bringing Columbia back to its roots through a unique space where we can all gather with folks who aren't our neighbors. The space will have private offices, small stores featuring women of color-owned products, conference rooms, podcasting studios, stage for live music and art, and a commercial kitchen. Now, the funds from the Changemaker Challenge will go towards building and expanding our retail space. This retail space supports emerging entrepreneurs by giving them the opportunity to test products in the market. It supports established businesses so that they can use the space to ready and prepare themselves for their own retail space. And it supports the community at large, allowing them to benefit from an easy and accessible way to support local women of color-owned businesses. With a rotating schedule of a mix of emerging and established businesses, these funds would go towards making a significant investment in the lives of women in our community, supporting them in positively affecting our local economy and growing their own generational wealth. The third seeks to reinforce and revive James Rouse's vision by leveraging community as the catalyst for economic development. We've engaged over 20 community partners and served over 300 women and 50 businesses through capacity building webinars to date. This funding will help us to increase our impact and reach and positively influence our local economy. So please support us in bringing this movement, this focus, this change-making idea to Howard County.
Laura, what a revolutionary idea. I love the way that you framed that. Your big idea encourages women to support each other, as well as inspires a young generation of doers looking to change the world, among other things. Thank you for creating a space of empowerment for women of color. Lisa, what are your thoughts?
I love this. I love the combination of combining social collateral with financial collateral and combining that together and making it accessible to the entire community. I, I'm
Okay.
I am equally excited about the idea and the process as I am with the end result. Laura, I'm just so excited for you and for this to come to fruition. Can I ask a question? Is now a good time to ask a question? I want to know what is your vision? Um, how do you, once you've completed all of the retail space and everyone is there, what's next? What do you envision?
I envision being able to work and develop the other areas of the space as well. We'll have offices, conference room, tech training room. And the overall idea is to build sort of a model, use this as a case study that can be a national model for community engagement and economic development.
Okay.
Excellent.
Thanks, Laura. Next up, we have Marcus Alston. Let's learn more about his idea to improve lives here in Howard County.
Hello everyone, my name is Marcus Alston, former Division I football player and current entrepreneur, and I'm on a mission to provide youth mental health first aid training to youth sports organizations and high schools across Howard County. Growing up as a biracial athlete, life was very challenging. My parents divorced at the age of 4, and I enrolled into tackle football at the age of 7 and suffered my first set of concussions at ages 9 and 11. I went on to play high school football at Mount St. Joseph, where I was an all-state, all-conference tight end my junior season. Unfortunately, in my senior homecoming game, I suffered a Lisfranc fracture in my foot that caused me to get 3 surgeries. At this point in time, I experienced my first battle with depression and anxiety. Despite my injury, I was still fortunate enough to receive a scholarship to play Division I AA football at St. Francis University. I graduated from St. Francis in May of 2018, and shortly after graduation, I experienced my first mental health crisis, going through a very tough breakup. It was through these dark times that I realized that my life's purpose is to help the next generation of young athletes like myself. So I quit my corporate job in September of 2019 and founded a fiscally sponsored project. A year later, we were nationally recognized by Mental Health America due to our advocacy efforts. Looking back on my situation, if there was one person that could have helped me, it would have been a coach. Unfortunately, coaches go through no formal mental health training. Coaches are required to go through CPR training, but you're actually 3 times more likely to use youth mental health first aid training. I want to teach coaches the foundations of mental health and equip them with a mental health action plan for crisis for athletes who are struggling. With $25,000, we can grow our operations across Howard County and be able to provide youth mental health first aid training to 100 coaches, athletic directors, and trainers. We will do this through promoting on various social media channels and through the PTSA. Come join us in building a better foundation of athlete mental health. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcus, for sharing your story. As a former collegiate athlete and a current coach, I can't tell you how necessary this training is, especially since the pandemic has exposed mental health challenges people didn't even know they had. We appreciate your passion for wanting to bring this to the Howard County athletic community. Ryan, would you like to comment?
Thank you very much. And Marcus, thank you very much for the work that you're doing to bring awareness to mental health, but also advocating for services. I have a tremendous amount of respect that as a former Division I athlete with mental illness, you're finding a way to take your challenge and help other people. And I work in healthcare, so I understand the needs there are for services, but also, probably more importantly, the need to create awareness. And I could tell that you're incredibly passionate about this, and I love the passion. But the practical nature of what you're proposing is fantastic. As you noted in your video, coaches are interacting with athletes probably more than teachers, educators, and this is a great opportunity to train them on trying to understand the signs of mental illness, but also how to bring services to them. So your plan seems very straightforward, and I applaud you for the work that you're doing in the community.
Thank you, Ron.
Hi, Kathy. What about you? Anything to add?
Marcus, I really love your idea. And I'm the proud mother of a Mount St. Joe's graduate who I think was probably in school at the same time you were. But I think this is such a valuable and needed program. And, I think our coaches are an avenue that have been untapped up to this point. And I'm just so glad that you've brought it forward. And what I love seeing is the multi-level impact that you have for your concept. It involves coaches, players, students, and ultimately it touches many, many, many families. I think it's relevant and timely. And with the discussions that we had coming off the Olympics and the importance of athletes being able to express their mental health challenges and stresses, it couldn't be more relevant. So we also believe here at the Horizon Foundation in mental health issues, and so it's so consistent with the work that we're doing overall. Here's a question for you, though, Marcus. How receptive do you think the coaches are going to be to this training? And how will you measure your social impact? Would you share that with us?
Yeah, that's a great question. Coaches would be receptive to this training because with mental health issues on the rise, it's a very prominent topic, as you previously mentioned. So roughly 2/3 of high school athletes experience depression and anxiety due to the cancellation of sports. And doing interviews with several coaches, it seems like the topic for these sports organizations and teams is mental health. And we would measure social impact by over the next year, measuring how many coaches, trainers, and athletic directors we certify across the county.
Thanks, Marcus. Now, let's see what the Community Ecology Institute's big idea is.
Wisdom tells us that if you give a person a fish, you feed them for a day. But if you teach a person to fish, you feed them for a lifetime. We think it's best to do both. In Howard County, 1 out of every 10 people is experiencing significant food insecurity, and many more are often hungry. And yet each average suburban lawn can grow hundreds of pounds of food per year. The Community Ecology Institute's big idea is to address this inequity through our new Nourishing Gardens program, which transform lawns into food-growing gardens that support the multifaceted health of our community members. The Nourishing Gardens program emphasizes the empowerment and resiliency of our community by teaching people how to grow their own food and increasing access to fresh food grown where people live, learn, work, and play. Just the act of gardening supports physical health, and our program adds on green-collar job skills, food justice, nutrition, mental health, and environmental health.
Our Nourishing Gardens program is already growing. In September, we launched our first cohort of 13 volunteers from the community who are being trained on how to install Nourishing Gardens. We are gearing up for gardens at several of our Title I elementary schools, at Howard Community College, in Columbia Association Community Spaces, with HopeWorks, and in income-limited multifamily housing developments. By 2024, we want to celebrate having transformed 15 acres of public and private land into Nourishing Gardens, growing over 100,000 pounds of fresh local produce for the community, creating 50 green-collar job opportunities, and providing more than 10,000 hours of education on how to increase food security through growing your own food.
With financial support from Changemaker, we will invest the resources needed to fully operate the program. We will have a scholarship fund to install Nourishing Gardens for those who are income limited, and we will provide free Nourishing Gardens installation training to community members. CEI can be counted on to put your support to great use. We already run a variety of award-winning community education programs that support our mission to cultivate communities where people and nature thrive together. In 2020, we welcomed over 1,000 people to our Freetown farm in Columbia and worked together to grow more than 5,000 pounds of food for our community.
It is our dream that through the Nourishing Gardens program, we can help people thrive with full stomachs, healthy bodies, a connected community, and pathways to economic security. As a fruit grower myself, I can personally say that being able to step outside and pick fruits and vegetables you've grown with your own hands is an experience not to be missed. The future of our personal and collective well-being is dependent on how we nourish ourselves, our community, and our environment. As changemakers, we can nourish the future of Howard County, one garden at a time.
Erica and Kiara, you're absolutely right. There's nothing like eating fruits and vegetables from your own garden. It tastes fresher, you know where the food's coming from. Not to mention it's gratifying knowing you were able to grow something yourself. Barb, what do you think about Kiara and Erica's big idea?
I absolutely love the idea of Nourishing Gardens. I think it's fabulous and it's so needed in our county. One of my sons works at Howard County Food Bank, and I know last year they were absolutely crazy there. So I really love this. I think it's environmentally positive, and I think what you're doing will truly make a difference in our county. I applaud your big idea. Thank you.
Tisha, I'd love to hear your comments.
I love the idea as well. For me, I know that I developed a green thumb during the pandemic, and it was amazing and fulfilling, just like the ladies shared. Just when we think about the disparities in food and access within the community, I think this is such an important endeavor, and it really is innovative and can really propel our community into the future. But one question I have for the ladies is, aside from your initial investment, how do you plan on accelerating your concept?
Thank you for that question. So in addition to Changemaker support to accelerate the Nourishing Gardens program, we need a collaborative community awareness campaign. We're part of a movement to transform communities into spaces that allow us to grow food, cultivate community, and then protect the environment. And each community member has an opportunity to transform their lawn, their deck, their patio, or their neighborhood space into a place that nourishes themselves, their neighbors, and their immediate natural environment. So the response we've had to Nourishing Gardens so far has been really positive. We know that there are a lot of people who want to be able to grow food, but they're facing questions about how to do that. They're facing both real and perceived barriers. And we are here to provide experiential education that informs people how they can grow food. We are here to help reduce barriers such as potential restrictions from homeowners associations, and we're here to help people become healthier and more resilient through gardening. So with the support of collaborators ranging from individuals to homeowners associations, schools, other nonprofits, businesses, and local governments, we can enhance the lives of people throughout Howard County with the Nourishing Gardens program.
And if we could just share one tidbit from one of our participants, they wrote us a note that we would like to share with the community today. They said, I love the program. I've learned so much. It is truly life-changing. I now feel that I can accomplish so much more that will benefit not just myself, but my family and humanity. Your support tonight will help us make this experience possible for so many people. Thank you so much for giving us that chance. We're here for it.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, ladies. Okay, so many great ideas so far. Next, we have the Howard County Autism Society. Let's hear what they have to say.
Employment isn't just a paycheck. Employment is a gateway to independence. It's a gateway to living one's fullest life. I'm Melissa Rosenberg from the Howard County Autism Society, and our big idea for social change is the Autism Hiring Program. The Autism Hiring Program advances workplace neurodiversity and acceptance, connecting businesses to an untapped workforce of skilled autistic adults and targeting job seekers not supported by existing systems. So what does all that mean? What is neurodiversity? Why don't skilled autistic adults get employment supports? And why aren't employers hiring them? Neurodiversity just means that no two brains are the same. Every person has things they are good at and things they need help with, and there's no such thing as a normal brain. Skilled autistic adults in Maryland aren't getting employment supports because services go to those with the most significant disabilities first. And many employers perceive challenges in onboarding and supporting autistic employees. The unemployment rate for people with autism is 90%, higher than those with other disabilities, and 85% of college graduates affected by autism are unemployed or underemployed. We recently completed our pilot year of the project, serving 9 candidates working in various capacities. Now it's time to build this program for the future. And here are 3 reasons why. Number 1, citizens with great jobs they love. We're focusing on the person, raising the bar for those with autism, and building their self-confidence. Number 2, businesses with terrific employees that speak to their bottom line. We're matching the ability of the person to the need of the employer. We're modeled after hiring programs run by corporations like Microsoft, SAP, Ernst & Young. We're providing employers with an ongoing support system. And number 3, a more inclusive workforce. Diversity, equity, and inclusion in the workplace includes individuals with disabilities, and differing viewpoints only make your business stronger. The $25,000 awarded through the Changemaker Challenge will enable us to build a pipeline to a sustainable program. And in a tight labor market, we believe employers will be more willing to take a chance on non-traditional candidates. It's about connection. We help people who want jobs and can do jobs connect to employers who have jobs and need employees. And from that comes everybody's dream of a rich, full life.
Wow, what an incredible idea. Thank you for working so diligently to ensure the neurodiverse community are getting a fair chance of being considered for jobs, integrated into the workforce, as well as contributing to our growing economy. Kathy, tell me a little bit about what you thought.
Melissa, I love your big idea. And I just know that this will have such a high impact on many of the families in Howard County that have autistic children and young adults. And I personally am a family that has a child with autism, and so it's very near and dear to my heart, so I commend you for all of the work that you do. Helping put people into the workforce is so essential. It's important for people to feel like they have value, and what you're describing is a way for these people to feel valued in ways that they never have before. So you are obviously very experienced in your field and you have a high likelihood of success. So thank you for sharing your idea.
Lisa, did you have anything to add?
I do. I think I am most intrigued by the innovation and its purpose, along with just increasing our awareness of the need. Certainly, from my mental health background, the concept of meeting people where they are and connecting them in the right fit is incredible synergy. And I appreciate you specifically stating that in your presentation. Can you tell me a little bit more about what does success look like 5 years from now?
About what the next 5 years will bring. We envision more autistic workers placed in long-running jobs that make them feel happy and fulfilled, a well-established open source training model that businesses can use to prepare their workforce to hire, onboard, and retain autistic workers, And then we want to see a multiplier effect. Good news travels, and we anticipate that the success of this program will spread from its beginnings here in Howard County, across the state, and hopefully beyond. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Melissa. Now, let's hear from our next changemaker, Hoco Pirate Adventures. It's all yours.
Ahoy, mateys! My name is Chris Fuchs, and I am the founder of Hoco Pirate Adventures. We run monthly pirate-themed scavenger hunts for families on the beautiful paths of Howard County. These trails are roughly 1 mile long and have 5 clues hidden along the way that little pirates must find. Once they do, they have the password to pop open the lock on a real treasure chest. Our hunts encourage families to get outside to get exercise in a fun and exciting way, while fighting childhood obesity, diabetes, isolation, and depression. They're wonderfully educational as well. Each clue is a puzzle that little pirates must solve using skills like reading, writing, spelling, math, critical thinking, and of course, map reading. I envision these hunts becoming a Howard County institution that brings together people of all socioeconomic groups. I want these kids to have happy memories and a shared experience that they can reminisce about together for the rest of their lives. As an experienced IT project manager, I have the organizational skills required to maintain and expand Hoco Pirate Adventures. In just 1 year, I've grown our Facebook group to over 3,000 people, and about 500 families do the hunt every month. We've also partnered with several local organizations, such as Mount Washington Pediatric Center, Howard County Special Olympics, Hearts and Homes Foster Care, and the Magic Yarn Project. The $25,000 Changemaker Challenge grant will allow us to improve Hoco Pirate Adventures in several innovative ways. The first of which will be the creation of a free mobile application that will be used to set up on-demand treasure hunts all around Howard County, especially in disadvantaged areas. These hunts will focus on inclusivity, providing options and accommodations for people with mobility challenges, autism, and several other disabilities. We will also create partnerships with organizations in low-income communities, such as the YMCA and the Community Action Council. This will allow us to spread information about the hunts and sponsor events in those areas. As you can see, Hoco Pirate Adventures provides a crucial and innovative service to the community with endless benefits. Please help us remove the participation barriers and bring the hunts to all pirates, both young and old. As we say in the crew, the treasure is real, but the real treasure is the memories you make together. Thank you.
Chris, I love how dedicated you are to this, full pirate gear and all. Your idea to address these barriers to health are so outside the box. It's refreshing and in such a fun way. It's such a fun way to get your family involved. Tisha, I'd love to hear your thoughts about Hoco Pirate Adventures.
Absolutely. So I would say this concept really resonated with me as a mom here in the county. I think all of us that are parents really recognize that over the past 18 months, it's been really challenging to get together and engage in a safe environment. So I think that definitely speaks to that. It's just also another way to bring people together just to learn. I mean, the fact that I've been in the county for 24 years, I definitely need to take an adventure so I can learn more about our community. So great idea.
Thanks, Tisha. Ryan, what about you?
Chris, what I like most about your video is just how much fun you're having. And I think that's your son in the video. And can't help but remind me of a time that I spent with my son and how much fun it would be not only do one of these adventures, but even as an adult, I think everyone enjoys dressing up as a pirate. So I applaud you for bringing in a fun activity, making it very creative, focused on health and wellness. And I hope to maybe join you one of these days. I know that you're trying to make this, the adventures more accessible through an online app through your phone, which makes perfect sense. I think that's how today's society functions. And I can see how that can eliminate some of the economic transportation barriers. But I was wondering if you could possibly comment how you're choosing the hunt locations, and would it be possible to eliminate some of those barriers by bringing the program directly to underserved areas in the county?
Sure, thank you, and please join us, absolutely. So the locations that we picked today are based on some physical criteria that are essential to the experience. So there needs to be ample parking for all the people that are coming to do it. There needs to be a looped trail, which are difficult to find, and there needs to be a playground at the end. Those are what I hold myself to. With the mobile application, those criteria no longer apply. Because it's digital, the hunt can go anywhere. To make sure that we are providing access to more underserved areas, we're going to set up multiple hunts near schools that have high rates of free and reduced meal eligibility. We're also going to partner with expert community organizations like the Community Action Council to make sure that lower income families have access to the hunts. And our goal is to set up 10 hunts in every village around Howard County so that regardless of where you lived, underserved or not, you're going to be able to go on an adventure right in your own neighborhood. So thank you very much for the question.
Thanks, Chris. Up next, we have Oakland Mills Online. Let's hear more about their big idea.
Hi, I'm Jessica Mahajan, co-founder of Oakland Mills Online, coming to you live tonight as a special last-minute change. A few days ago, my co-founder announced that she's running for office. Because of IRS rules around nonprofits, our video, which features her prominently, will not be used. While I'm not as dynamic of a presenter as she is, I'm no less passionate about the value of our big idea for our county. And we thank the Changemaker organizers and production team for finding a solution for OMO to still present to you tonight. You know the saying, you don't know what you don't know. So how do we learn? The school-based speaker series is OMO's answer and our big idea. There's something about connecting person to person that helps us learn, and building connections with someone in your neighborhood gives you more chances to grow in knowledge and empathy, and more chances to lead by sharing what you've learned. Have you ever talked to an NFL player about their daily life? Ask a blind person what they see when they dream, or heard a Muslim woman and a Baptist preacher discuss what their faith says about civil rights. These are real moments from the OMHS Scorpion Speaker Series. Every Friday, teachers bring their classes to the speaker series. A speaker or panel meets with approximately 90 students at a time for 30 minutes. These small group presentations in the Media Center allow students to ask questions, share their own stories, and get to know our guest speakers in a casual environment. The series centers historically excluded voices, like our Hispanic students, our queer neighbors, and adults who are deaf, blind, or differently abled. We know that diversity and inclusion get a lot of lip service in Howard County, but to gain that inclusion, it is essential that we facilitate authentic connections among all members of our communities. There is power in having a homegrown space where students can bravely ask questions and truly learn more about people who are different from them. This is particularly valuable for students who may not have the opportunity otherwise to build networking connections as they consider further education and careers. If we want to have a more radically inclusive society moving forward, we have to make radical shifts in our intergenerational spaces like public schools. The speaker series shows students that valued community members are not only people who make the news or receive accolades. They're your friend's parents, your neighbor, the person down the street. Today's leaders need a way to connect with tomorrow's leaders. OMO can be the bridge and create these sparks in which connections come alive. The grant funding will enable the current program to become a permanent fixture at OMHS. We'll fund 21st Century Tech to multiply our reach from 400 students a week at one school to a digital presence that can be used by students and community members all over Howard County. And it will allow the program to include all 12 Howard County high schools, with OMO providing each school the tools necessary to pull in fascinating individuals from their own neighborhoods and host meaningful conversations. We have everything we need to cultivate a thriving, interactive society. We are the answer to our own desire for growth and development. As we say at every event, we don't have to look far to find excellence in Oakland Mills or in our wider community. OMO needs your help to ensure that we can continue to learn, grow, and lead together. Thank you.
Jessica, thank you. And I know that there was an unexpected last-minute change, but I thought you delivered it beautifully. As for your idea, I would have been at every single one of those speaker series had we had that at my high school. Not only are you providing your students with the opportunity to see people they can relate to, but they're members of the Howard County community. You're actively showcasing what makes this county so diverse and unique. Nice work. Lisa, would you have gone to one of these if you had them at your school?
Without a doubt. I love that you said the excellence is right in front of you. And that is so true. When I think about the impact this can have, it's just immense, right? It's limitless. When we start talking and modeling and we're in front of our youth, and then our youth hear all the things that they can be and then go beyond, I'm just beyond excited about this. I love it that it involves our youth. I love that it includes equity, inclusion, vision, and future. And I love the modeling that it puts in place around excellence. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Barb, what about you?
I also love the idea. I think it's wonderful. The old adage of it's not what you know, it's who you know. And certainly as a business owner, I can tell you that networking has been truly invaluable for me to make my business successful for many, many years. So it sounds like that OMO has a lot of successes to build on from the Scorpion Speaker Series. I guess my question would be, which topics have been most successful? And which topics are most important for today's students?
The most powerful discussions are the ones that bring together the student, staff, and community members all together to talk about the same topic, sharing their life stories, sharing their own experiences, seeing that it's an intergenerational situation. The first panel this year was actually on Hispanic heritage, and it ended up evolving into a powerful conversation about what it feels like to be an immigrant at different ages, whether a child, a teenager, an adult. Learning languages, switching between cultures, having code switch. It's amazing to see how the children relate to these stories, even if they aren't immigrants. So the most important ones for our teenagers today are the ones that bring out their empathy, where they can connect with themselves and someone else's story. And that's.
Thanks again, Jessica. I can't believe we're more than halfway through. Let's see what our next finalist, Upcycled, has been working on.
Hey, I'm Freddie, this is Orlando, and we are Upcycled. Has anyone ever wondered where your plastic goes after you toss it in the recycling bin? We have, and what we found has led us here today.
The plastic crisis is something that affects all of us, and it continues to grow, with the U.S. producing over 37 million tons this year. Less than 9% of that was recycled. With our big idea, we'll be able to divert plastic waste being sent to landfills and offer county residents an opportunity to make a personal impact.
Here at Upcycled, we take single-use plastics and give them a long-term purpose by turning them into building materials, such as 2x4s and other beams. We can build anything you can think of. We focus on structures to beautify our community, such as garden beds, picnic tables, and benches.
The first question we usually get when people find out what we do is, how can I help? And this is when we realized our facility needed to be more accessible, not only to welcome volunteers, but to educate the community on the importance of upcycling.
Our big idea is to build an upcycling center with an interactive education area with scheduled tours for community leaders and residents. Currently, we have a collection facility that has no utilities and a garage area for the upcycling process. Neither are best suited for visitors.
Using the funding from the event tonight, we'll outfit our collection facility with solar energy to move our process under one roof, while also providing a space for plastic drop-offs. This facility will have a classroom area to provide opportunities for hands-on learning, which will also include a chance for visitors to make their own upcycled items.
This facility will increase the amount of plastic we're able to divert, provide relief to local recycling centers, and educate our youth. With help from our volunteer team, local business partners, and county leaders, we will be able to bring a solar-powered upcycling center to life.
The plastic crisis is too much for any one person or organization to handle on their own. We need your help.
Our big idea will empower the community to help us in our fight against single-use plastics.
Freddie, Orlando, what can I say? You guys are just doing some really cool stuff. Your idea has so much educational value, and I'm excited to see what the future holds for Upcycled. Every time I have something that I can't recycle, I always think of you and what you could use it for. You're literally turning trash into treasure, and it's incredible. Ryan, what do you think of Upcycled's idea?
Freddie and Orlando, I love your passion and excitement. The fact that only 9% of plastic material that is recycled in today's modern times is really astonishing. And I think really to improve this, what we need to do is improve education and awareness. The concept that you've created and the company that you've created is really addressing this knowledge gap, an idea of reusing plastic materials to help better shape our community. I think this hands-on learning process is proven to be effective with our youth, and there's a lot of excitement around your organization. I really appreciate this idea, and that the fact that you're helping our next generation.
Kathy, would you mind sharing your thoughts?
I'd love to. Freddie and Orlando, I too love this idea. And, I didn't know about it until I watched your video. And so I was delighted for that learning. And I'd like to echo Ryan's sentiments that, education for the next generation is just so important to really making a meaningful difference moving forward. And I'm so impressed that you were able to do all this without having any utilities in your facility. You guys are not only creative, but you're darn hardy, because there are some cold times in Howard County. So we can really see how an on-site collection facility will really help folks connect and understand the impact and the importance of the work that you're doing and how they can take their trash and make it into treasure. So we're curious to know, tell us about what difficulties and challenges you're anticipating. And a large part of your budget involves solar panels and batteries to power your operations. We're curious about the measurable environmental impact of those changes and how long it will take you to achieve the addition of the utilities in your site.
Hey guys, thank you so much for answering questions. I think you really hit the nail on the head. Our difficulties are really going to be the things that we're facing now and the things that the recycling centers are facing. And that's just the education and the knowledge that's available to the public. And if we can bridge that gap, we can really help our mission and relieve the recycling centers around us. As far as the solar panels, Freddie has a...
Yeah, I'll be able to help on that. And also, to chime in on what Orlando just said, partnering with organizations like Kiara and Erica from the Ecology Center has helped us get in the community and will speed up the process of education for the residents on cleaning up the plastic, which is a huge help. So I can't stress enough the community partnerships. But as far as the solar goes, we'll be able to reduce our carbon footprint by 95%. We will be using less than 2 square tons of carbon dioxide compared to 250. Our machines are similar to washers and dryers, so it's going to be a huge improvement as far as a reduction on the grid.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys. Quick reminder, we'd love to hear from you about what you think of tonight's Changemaker Challenge. So make sure you're using the chat feature and tell us your thoughts. All right, now we're gonna move on to our next Changemaker. And we wanna hear about what four girls to STEM's big idea is.
Did you know only 11.5% of women major in STEM, and even less are women of color? And my name is Shay Suber.
Hi, I'm Bertina Suber-Hanley.
And hi, I'm Tiffany Suber. And we're Four Girls to STEM. Four Girls to STEM's big idea is to show girls in Howard County Public School System STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. This program will consist of STEM workshops, college readiness, and mentorship. A gender math gap exists in elementary school. Girls tend to lose their confidence by the 3rd grade. A potential social impact for these aspiring girls is to spark an interest in majoring in STEM. To close the gender gap, we would like to promote self-confidence and esteem to get the girls excited about science and math. By creating these opportunities, you're giving the girls a chance to stay in school, go off to college, and get jobs in high-paying science fields.
We are 3 women of color in the industry, and we understand the barriers that are associated with entering the field.
I was an environmental science major and currently a transplant coordinator. And I'm an accounting major working as a senior accountant.
And I was a physics and electrical engineering major and currently work as an aerospace engineer. I was the only female in my major and most high-level math classes, as well as the only woman of color on most work programs. I most recently had the opportunity to work as a substitute teacher, and I helped the students realize their love of math.
4 Girls to STEM wants to use the funds to get the girls excited and confident about using up-to-date 21st century software and other engineering resources. Additionally, we would like to get the girls excited about working with actual STEM professionals.
4 Girls to STEM will partner with a local civic roundtable, Society of Women Engineers, and Continental Societies of Howard County. Currently, we have also established partnerships with 2 middle schools and 1 high school in Howard County. We are
4 Girls to STEM.
I love that you 3 ladies are working on this. My daughter is 9 and all about all things STEM. I could see her getting really excited about having a program like this at her school. Thank you for being proof that women of color can hold their own in a very male-dominated industry like STEM. Great job. Kathy, would you like to comment?
Sure, I would love to comment, and I'd like to congratulate you on what you've done so far. I mean, I just think it's a wonderful idea, and I think all of you are just amazing individuals and an inspiration to all of us. But I loved your comments about, at the root of all of this is really building self-confidence and self-esteem. And doing that at a young age, I think, is just more and more important as the competitiveness, not only in Howard County, but nationally, just continues to increase. The advent of social media is another demand that requires a higher level of self-esteem and self-confidence to make it through the world these days. Life is becoming more difficult as a result. So I love your idea, and I look forward to hearing more about it.
Thanks, Kathy. Barb, I'd love to hear your comments too.
Ladies, I love your idea. I think it's wonderful. It really has strengths in the areas of supporting young girls and women of color, inclusion, and impact in the tech world, which is so critical nowadays. I would love to have a question to ask you. I think your idea has a lot of strength. I guess my question, you haven't done this before, so I guess I'm wondering, what challenges do you think you might encounter as you do this?
Hi. Some of the challenge I would be probably finding the girls. We have partnered with multiple different organizations in the area. Society of Women Engineers, Women in Technology, and Continental Society. And we've reached out to try to get girls, and it's kind of hard in a virtual environment currently, sorry.
Thank you, ladies. Next up, we have Howard County Lynching and Truth Reconciliation.
Hello, I'm Marlena Giroux from Howard County Lynching, Truth and Reconciliation, here to tell you about our big idea for the county. Our new nonprofit wants to bring history alive for the county by creating an online and interactive platform so that it can be accessible and exciting for everybody. Yes, exciting. Our county has been designated majority minority now. 19.5% of those people are people who look like me. This creates an important question for everybody to consider. Do you know the history of people who don't look like you? At one time in history, the county was about 24% enslaved and 10% free black. All around the country, places are working to create historical narratives that are more racially inclusive. With the $25,000 Changemaker grant, we will create an online platform so that people will be able to visualize African Americans in Ellicott City who are trying to create opportunities for their families amongst immigrants and others who are trying to do the same. We want to bring census and other data alive like the New York Times did when they showed 3D Tulsa before the race riots. First, we will graphically show their existence in the community. Then we will pluck and tell their stories from it. And finally, we want to empower students with this information so that they can take what they see and get to work creating a collaborative community created in equity for all. A Mount Hebron student asked us, why don't I know any of this history of the place where I live? Our bold idea seeks to empower him and others with the answer. There's power in knowing history, and those who don't know it are destined to repeat it, as the saying goes, so we all can benefit here. We all seek to be understood, and we're more alike than different. Thank you for considering us.
Oh man, I wish I had something like this when I was in school. This would have been so helpful. A very interesting concept to introduce local history to the community. This could really be an invaluable resource to students. Ryan, I'm interested to hear your thoughts.
Well, Marlena, thank you very much. I really enjoyed your video, and more importantly, the idea that you have. And as I watched your video, there are two statements that you made that really resonated with me. The first was there is power in knowing your history. And the second was a thought-provoking question, which asked, do you know the histories of those that do not look like you? I think these statements are extremely relevant today as we're striving for equity in our community. Your idea will empower the Mount Hebron student that you referenced in your video, and I think so many others in our community. By us amplifying, or by you amplifying the truths and stories of people of Black, Indigenous communities of color, including telling the stories and experiences of these communities, is essential. And now more than ever, we must support equity, inclusion, and justice to combat systemic racism and oppression. I applaud your efforts to bring, as you say, history alive.
Lisa, would you like to share some of your insights?
I certainly would. Marlena, this is a heavy lift, and I appreciate you for doing it. I think it actually gives us the opportunity by bringing this to life, right? To seeing that history has multiple viewpoints, that one situation has different interpretations around it, and I appreciate you for that. This also means that we're going to be talking about some things that are uncomfortable, and perhaps some ugly truths. How do you envision adults or other generations using this information?
Well, yes, thank you for saying hard, because that is exactly what it is. It's hard history, and not everybody wants to, think about or address this kind of history, but it is crucial to do so. Our idea with our organization is that communities, this is what communities are like. Communities are ones that care about and have compassion for neighbors who don't look like themselves. And caring enough to know about somebody's history and how things have generationally affected them, we think is critically important for Howard County to have. Columbia is a wonderful place to live, but it's in a larger place that has a significant history about it that's largely not told. So we think that people will embrace it. They love stories, and so I think that they'll love this idea.
Thank you, Marlena. I can't believe I'm saying this, but we're at the end. We're at the end. And last and certainly not least, we have Kids to Heart. Can't wait to hear what their big idea is.
In 2018, 1.7 million Americans heard the words, "You have cancer." I was one of them. Thankfully, the rapid advances in medicine saved my life 3 times. But throughout this nightmarish period, I kept wondering, why do I feel so alone? After all, that same year in Howard County, nearly 7,000 people were also diagnosed with cancer. My big idea tackles this issue of loneliness by launching an innovative art therapy program led by master's-trained art therapists. These therapists are mental health clinicians, which means this program is not about teaching art, but rather about allowing patients and their families to express their feelings through a creative medium. For decades, art therapy has been used to improve physical, mental, and emotional well-being. Importantly, studies show art therapy can actually help to reduce stress and anxiety, which is critical for patients with cancer in terms of both outlook and outcomes. This is what helped me, and by working with the Howard County Arts Council and Howard County General Hospital, the $25,000 will help support curated art kits for up to 600 families. These sessions will allow patients to connect with others and access helpful tools and resources. I am confident in our ability and could not be more excited to carry out this idea because throughout COVID, which, as we all know, actually exacerbated profound loneliness, my nonprofit Kids to Heart has been working tirelessly to donate more than 2,000 cancer care kits and hundreds of blankets to families nationwide. Through this program, we've been learning how to scale and make a meaningful impact. This new art therapy program will serve as the next stage of growth for Kids to Heart. We will collect surveys to assess needs, measure impact, and develop a successful model for this county and replicate for others. I didn't find the support that I needed locally, and the sense of dignity and belonging is what I'm here to create. So with your help, it's time to show patients that we care. Thank you.
Sonia, this is truly touching, and I know that so many of us in some way, shape, or form have been affected by cancer. Thank you for sharing your story and for using your personal experience to help others. Your idea has the potential to help so many. Barb, do you have anything to add?
Yes, I absolutely love the idea of art therapy to help cancer patients, break out of their loneliness. Probably like most of us, I've had family members who have had cancer, and I know it's a very lonely time. It's so critical to care for the whole person and important to address that healing and health of cancer patients and survivors. Sonia, I love your big idea. I think it's great.
Tisha, what about you? Is there anything you'd like to add to that?
Absolutely. Sonia, first and foremost, I'm so glad that you're healthy and you're here with us to share your big idea. I myself am a cancer survivor. I was diagnosed 20 years ago. I just accomplished my 20-year anniversary in being in remission. And I was in my early 20s when I was diagnosed, and I completely understand what loneliness feels like because people don't understand what to say, what to do, or anything, or how to best support you. So your Kids to Heart is such a great idea to really bring some happiness to when you're going through that struggle. So just thank you for that. And similar to what has already been said, we all know someone who is battling cancer. So it's just such a great idea. But a couple of questions I do have for you, and it's kind of a combined question, but how are you forecasting the impact within Howard County? And how are you thinking about engaging, those that you're forecasting the impact will touch?
So first, thank you so very much for your question, and congratulations on your 20-year cancer anniversary. So We are in at least three oncology centers in Howard counties. And we know that there's at least 6 in Howard County. So we've already been delivering our cancer care kits and blankets to 3. And it's really just a simple call and email away from letting them know of our entirely free mental health resource. Social workers are constantly looking for more ways to help their patients, and this would be really a whole package designed by a cancer survivor who's been there, done that, with the support of trained art therapists and Howard County Arts Council. So this is really just about reaching the families who don't have this resource, and we're really ready to be able to share this with the cancer centers we're already working with and reaching out to the others as well.
Thanks, Sonia. Okay, I hate to be the one to tell you I told you so. Actually, no, I don't. I told you we had some fantastic finalists. Okay, so you've seen what our Changemakers can bring to the people and communities of Howard County, and there are lots of great ideas here. Our community partners have some tough decisions to make. Ooh, good luck. I want to thank all of our community partners participating tonight for their observations and their insights, which will help us determine our investments into the 2021 Changemakers. Right now, we're going to give them a little time to review all of tonight's big ideas once more. And while they're doing that, we'll be sharing highlights from each of our Changemakers to remind you of their big ideas for social change right here in Howard County. You'll also be seeing on your screen but hold on, before we get there, we have a special message from our Howard County Executive, Dr. Calvin Ball.
I hope you've enjoyed this evening's impressive presentations from our 10 Changemaker Challenge finalists. From STEM programs for girls of color, to mental health first aid training, to transforming lawns and creating nourishing gardens, and so much more, tonight we've witnessed some thoughtful and creative strategies to address needs and inequalities in Howard County. This is exactly the type of social innovation that makes Howard County such a unique, supportive, and thriving community. I want to thank the Horizon Foundation, United Way of Central Maryland, the Community Foundation of Howard County, and the Women's Giving Circle for their efforts to organize this event and for opening their wallets with these noteworthy and prestigious grants. Finally, I want to commend each of our finalists for their hard work in shaping these big ideas and giving birth to the possibility of positive change. Our judges sure have their work cut out for them, and I wish you all good luck.
Thank you, Dr. Ball. We are almost ready to vote for the Audience Choice Award. We will be utilizing Slido to capture your opinion of who's got the best idea to advance Howard County. We are only able to count your vote through Slido, so pay close attention for directions on how Slido works. You ready? All right. It's very easy to cast your vote. You can click on the vote button below. The link is also in the chat window, or you can also go to slido.com and enter Changemaker, and that's one word, for the event code. Again, and this is important, we can only count your vote through Slido, and there's 3 ways to join. 1, click the button below. 2, the link in the chat. Or 3, you can go to slido.com and enter Changemaker, one word, as the event code. It's that easy. Are you ready? Let's warm up with a couple of poll questions. For this test poll, we want to know about you and your connection to this Howard County Changemaker event. Do you live here? Work here? Both? Are you here to support a Changemaker? You can only choose one option, so please select a choice that best represents you. access Slido, click the button below, the link in the chat, or you can go to slido.com and enter Changemaker as the event code. Go ahead and answer now. I'll give you all a few moments. It's great to see so many of you show up to support this initiative. It really is. And by the looks of things, most of you are living in Howard County. A lot of you support new ideas to drive positive change. Some of you work in Howard County, but most of you live here, a little more than half. It's great to see all the personal connections to the change makers. All right, just a few more moments. Get your options in, get your votes in. Okay, so the majority of you are here tonight because you live in Howard County. Okay, it's great to see your personal motivation for being here. Are you ready to move on to our next poll question? Great. For this one, we want to know what area of social impact is most important to you. We have heard some fresh ideas from our change makers tonight, and we are curious to know which area of social impact you care about most. Again, click the link in the chat, click the vote button below, or go to slido.com and enter the code Changemaker. I'll give you another few moments to answer. Oh, there it is. There it is. Yep. Okay, this group has spoken, and the most important area of social impact for the majority of the group is education. All right, seems like we have a pretty good handle on voting. So the community partners are still deliberating with their investment decisions. We'll hear about those in a few. Now, it's time to vote for our first ever Audience Choice Award. Before we end it, we're about to close it, but we want to show you, or I'm sorry, let me rewind. Thank you everybody for putting your votes in. We're really excited about this first ever Audience Choice Award. So before we announce the winner of this award, we want to give you a quick recap of our Changemakers. Okay, everyone. First, thank you for hanging out with us for a little bit. Live shows can be a little bit crazy, but thank you for your patience. It's now the moment we've all been waiting for. I'm so pleased to be able to announce the 2021 Howard County Changemaker Challenge Award recipients. And we'll start with the Audience Choice Award winner of $10,000. This award is so important because this is the concept you, the community, want to see move forward. The $10,000 Audience Choice Award winner is Community Ecology Institute. Congratulations, ladies.
Thank you. Yay!
All right, next, the $10,000 Women's Giving Circle of Howard County Award goes to Kids to Heart. Congratulations, Sonia. Next, the $15,000 investment. Are you guys ready? Are you sure? It goes to the third. Laura, congratulations, girl. All right, we're at the last one. Is everybody ready? Lastly, the $25,000 investment goes to Marcus Alston with Alston for Athletes. Yes. Listen, congratulations, Marcus. You have made it so far. Great job. Great job to all of our finalists. I want to extend our warmest gratitude to our community partners who so thoughtfully and diligently evaluated so many great ideas, and to everyone joining us here today for their support of our Changemakers and your feedback on the Audience Choice Award. Tonight has been all about sharing and amplifying the voices of those right here in Howard County. We are so grateful for all the ideas that were submitted and celebrate all entrants and especially our 2021 Changemakers. Thank you for making a difference in Howard County. Folks, this concludes my time with you this evening. I hope you all have a great night. Thank you.